gotta bring it back. Good music, good times. Yeah. Let me make sure we go live across all the channels that I want us to go live across, right? So right now, we on TikTok, right? Yeah, we live on TikTok too. Yeah, Natalie, everybody gotta hear this today. Yeah. All right, so we going live now on Instagram. So Instagram, we live there, right? TikTok, we live there. Let me just make sure that I am right. I'm going live on YouTube, so we're going live there too. Facebook, we going live there too. And where is it? TikTok, yeah, we live there too. So saving all of these. All right. Give me Flawless, give me Brain Freeze the soca version so we don't get blocked. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have a guest in here with me today, and she's one of my favorite guests because when she comes in, we have this great conversation about everything. Anything. Yes. And let me put it on camera. I don't want to. Yeah.
I can't see myself. Okay.
Yeah, you see yourself now. So let me see. Right. I feel like the last time you were here, I believe this was the soundtrack for the last conversation we had. If I'm not mistaken.
Soundtrack the last time?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We had a background soundtrack.
All right, let's go.
All right, so let's do this. Good afternoon. Welcome back. For the people who might be seeing you here for the first time, because now we live across like 15 channels right now. We on your channel, we on Instagram, we on Facebook, we on YouTube, we on Twitch.
Suppose I was hiding. I'm gonna get catch today.
Yes.
Okay.
You better not be in witness protection, because
no witness protection here. No.
The jig is up today. The jig would definitely be up today. So welcome back.
So wait, let me just say, I never come here at Christmas time. So I brought
This is your first Christmas time?
I brought you a present. You know,
look,
it's
y'all,
only
look at
right
the smile
that I
on my
bring
face.
some
Look at the smile.
Trinidadian.
Look at the smile on.
Trini's about to kick me out of the island, right? Ooh. So it's only right that I bring some Trinidadian punchacram.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Authentic Trinidad punchacram.
So guess what?
This is from me to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take and have a drink on me.
Boy. Look at that.
Right. So now we can start the things.
Now we could start the thing. And I ain't sharing it with any one of the team. So y'all better don't hit me up in the comment section. Don't hit me up in the private messages asking me to keep some for y'all. Yes. This is me and me alone.
Okay.
So the last time you were here, right?
When was I here? April?
I think it was around April.
And we're at the end of the year already?
End of the year already.
Can I tell you 2024 was a year? Like... do we talk about 2024?
It was like a breeze.
No, like, do we talk about 2024?
Listen,
because you know the aliens are coming, right? Y'all know the aliens are coming, right?
Well,
call them. The aliens are here. What is wrong with y'all?
They're already here. They're definitely already here.
And I think some of them living on Earth with us already. I think some of the people we know are aliens. I think so.
I fully agree with that.
And their family coming down. To reunite.
I fully agree.
Because the way how 2024 was set up, right?
Especially.
The aliens come in to meet their family, and yeah, I don't know what happened next, but.
Especially after what I saw in November. I have to say the aliens are here with us. Yeah. That was a tough one.
Did you vote?
Yes, I did.
Did you vote?
Yes, you could vote.
So here's my truth, right?
Yeah.
So this would officially have been the first time I would have voted in my life.
Wow.
Because I left Trinidad, I never got to vote home. I don't know, I just never did. And this would have been officially my first vote. And then you see what we had, right?
Yeah.
You know, and to be honest, I was so conflicted, like because I'm not into politics and I'm not into all that, so I try to catch up here and here. And then I was like, okay, I'll be honest. Like, I was in a position, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to vote this way because I don't want that.
Right.
Okay. But I'm not sure if that's the way I want to vote either, right? Like, I didn't want my first vote. Like, I wish my first vote was when Obama was here.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think, like, I would have feel like it meant something, right? And this is just my opinion, right? But I was really conflicted because I really didn't know enough about I'm gonna say A and B, right?
Okay.
I just know I didn't want B, right? You know, and then some people say, well, if you don't want B, just vote A.
Right.
But I wanted my vote to
matter.
Just for me, personal thing. People might say I'm crazy, but I'm like, you know what? I really don't want B, right?
Yeah.
So go fix up your thing and vote A. Went on to register and they said it's too late.
Oh, wow.
So, morally story, maybe I wasn't meant to do it this year.
Maybe.
Because I was honestly, because like I said, I've never voted ever, you know, had that opportunity and finally got my citizenship or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know, like, you know, I'm not into politics and stuff like that. But anyway, well, we have B.
Yeah.
We have B. We're stuck with B.
And that's why I think the aliens are here.
And you think the aliens here because of B? Because
yeah.
B was here before. And
he's the one inviting them in.
I think the aliens, I think we always had aliens here because the way people have been behaving of recent, like there's a lot going on. Like there's just a lot.
It's because of B. B is the one
You think it's because of B?
Definitely.
Actually, I'll do you one better. I think he brought the aliens here to vote for him.
You think you brought them?
Yes.
You brought them here to vote for him.
Listen, 2024, I don't even know. Like for me, I would say it was a year of lessons, right? Because I feel like sometimes, like especially in the business that I'm in, like sometimes we get so comfortable. You know, things always just go a certain way.
Right.
And then we get like comfortable.
So what would you say is the biggest lesson you got from 24?
Boy, plenty.
Yeah? I want one.
So for example, like, you know, like other events, I would say curator. I hate the word promoter.
Yeah.
But, you know, like things always go a certain way, right? And no matter the disorganized confusion and the background that you may not see, it pans out, right?
I've seen some of that. For
example, everybody knows, like, I have a horrible relationship with Mother Nature, right?
Oh,
like, Mother Nature and I are never friends. Like, she always tests me, you know? Like, tests me, and then after the event, everybody like, nothing will stop the fair, rain don't stop cricket or whatever, right? But I think every event that I've had for the year, like, Mother Nature, like, not just poked me, like cuff me down, right?
Punch you in the face.
So like Memorial Day, anybody remember Memorial Day? Like Memorial Day, I mean, don't get me wrong, it worked itself out. But like from a business standpoint, when the rain comes like that, it affects the overall picture. And then like production, like the production that we're trying to put together, Mother Nature beat me up, gone to St. Lucia, Mother Nature again. Okay, all right.
And that was your first St. Lucia,
And that was my first St. Lucia.
What about
Gone to Grenada. I think Beryl sent her cousin. That carnival Saturday.
Yeah.
And Grenada was like really challenging for me because all my life I've been doing events on concrete, right? So when it rains, you know, the water just runs away. So this was my first time like actually being, I was like a football field.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm watching Beryl's cousin because I'm convinced it was her cousin. And I'm watching, doors supposed to open at 1:00 and I'm just watching puddles of mud and mud and mud. And I'm like, okay, God, like, because you know what happens as an event curator, like you become a meteorologist, right? And you start watching I'm in Grenada and I'm watching every weather channel in Spanish, French, English. And I'm like, listen, you like, God, please, I'll never do this again. You know, that thing I did last week, I promise I'll never curse again. So it was kind of challenging, but, you know, in the industry, even like in the hospitality industry, like, there's things happening that I've never seen before. I've been in the industry since I'm 18 years old. The economy is different. Times are different. You know, there's a lot of restaurants oversaturating New York, Brooklyn, right? So it's like all of us fighting up in the same sandbox, right? Trying to do the same thing. And, you know, it's just not panning out for some reason. It's like the same thing with the events. Like we're all, for the most part, we're in the same circle per se. People money is tight, you know, people not just coming out like that. People want value for their money. And that's always my thing. Like it's important to give people value for their money because as times get harder and harder and harder, you can't have people coming out for nonsense. You know what I mean? So even like in the business, we have to reset. We in a reset period. And for me, I had to like check myself, and it's like, listen, that little comfort zone, your cushion that you were sitting on, on where the maths was simple, 1,000 tickets by $10, blah blah. You gotta get off that. And then, you know, as I get older too, like, you want to start working smarter than harder, because the kind of effort and energy that we put into it, sometimes the profit margin or just the overall picture, or even just the work that goes into it, it's just, you know, but we're definitely in a different climate with the hospitality and the entertainment industry. So it's like...
So what do you think you can do different?
For me, what I have told myself, I am kind of, it might sound crazy, but I'm kind of like in a reset mode. Something kind of like going back to the basics a little bit, you know, still giving people value for their money, right? But going back to basics and thinking about what was the basic things that people like? What are the basic things that people appreciate? Because sometimes we put so much thrills or frills on things that goes over somebody's head, and you're the only person in the party like, oh my God, that chandelier is beautiful. And everybody really just skating over the chandelier. So I'm kind of like, now I'm like, okay, like, where did I start?
Right.
How did I get here? How do I stay here? Right? And I always tell people, like, in business, like, I want to be that fat lady. What you say, the fat lady that sing or who laugh last, like you ain't kicking me out. I'll bow out gracefully, kind of thing. So I just think we have to kind of like reset ourselves. It's like in the restaurant business, like, we're all selling, a lot of us are selling, doing the same things. Tacos Tuesday, dollar wings, this, that, happy hour. Everybody have a happy hour. Everybody, for the most part, selling the same Hennessy, the same margarita, whatever. What are we doing wrong? Like, what are we, you know what I mean? So, this year has like really, really have me like sitting and like checking myself, and not saying that I was necessarily doing anything wrong, but I think even when you have a good brand, you have to continuously check yourself, you know, and it's very important. I always tell people to understand the bad part of your brand, or any bad part of your brand, because that's how you'll make things better.
So let me give you a story. Somebody told me they went out recently, right? They went out to a restaurant. They had 2 drinks and 2 tacos, and they spent $100.
Well, I don't know why they went for 2 drinks and 2 tacos. It wasn't Savannah, because I didn't get that $100 for 2 drinks and 2 tacos. So it wasn't me, right? Okay.
It wasn't.
Okay, just making sure.
But how do we? So the person is like, I can't afford to do that every weekend.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. I don't know where your friend went and bought 2 tacos and 2 drinks and 2 tacos. I don't know where she went and she bought 2 drinks and 2 tacos for $100. I suggest she does not go back there. Savannah has 2 drinks and 2 tacos. I guarantee she's not spending that. But here's the reality. There's 2 sides of the coin. And the patrons need to understand this, because they understand it in their home.
Right.
The price of things going up.
Correct.
Right? I don't think people like really understand. Like, the price of things have gone up. Right? So if the price of things have gone up, and you now, me, have to produce things to you. Right. I have to cover the cost of what I'm paying to purchase things and produce these things. It's the same thing with the events. Right. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like certain fests. I think some fests, like when I go to Trinidad, some of them are like really ridiculous. I'm like, okay, wait till you're doing, right? But the reality of it is things have gone up, right? Like I said, you have to give people value for their money. You can't be charging certain things and then it's not matching up in standard of the value of what you're asking for. So
let me ask a question. So for me, or for let's say that friend, she's like, listen, I spent $100 at that spot. At that rate, I used to be able to go out every weekend.
Right.
No, I can't afford to go outside. No, the other three weekends or 3 Saturdays,
of course,
I'm staying in because I could only afford to give one. Is there a point to saying, all right, maybe we all do a little less and we get more?
Well, absolutely. I mean, of course, her situation is extreme, but look, it's only let me give you a trick, and this is real. I'm giving away one of my secrets here. Yeah. do you know, so I have this special at my restaurant called Lunch is on Us.
Right.
Meaning you buy a drink and lunch is on me. So whether, well, I don't know, you don't be paying attention, but we have this special, right?
No, we know.
So we have this special called Lunches on Us occasionally, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, we would select the lunch. The lunch could be a pilau, it could be stewed chicken pie, kalu, whatever it is. Pilau. And we would create a link and we would tell people sign up for it. In order to get this lunch, you must get a drink.
Right.
Right? We would give away probably as much as people download, 150, whatever, right? The bottom line is you're getting a meal
for free. Yes.
A meal that is valued maybe sometimes $25 based on the menu.
Right.
Do you know, right? And I'm just giving random figures here. Do you know, we could open the doors, staff the business, have everything there, and make $10 for the day.
Right.
But the day that I do Sunday lunch or lunches on us and tell you have to buy a drink, but get a free meal.
Yeah.
Do you know I make $100, 10 times what I would make when I open the door?
Right.
So is the message here, give something free and I make money.
Right.
Now, when I give something free, it's free for you, but it's not free for me.
Right.
So now I have to balance off offset the cost. Like, okay, now the aim is, well, they're getting a lunch for free. They're supposed to buy a drink.
Right.
Maybe they might buy wings.
Right.
Maybe they might buy a taco.
Maybe they double up the drinks.
Might buy 2 drinks.
Right.
And that's where we go.
Right.
But it's always amazing to me when we give away something free.
You make more money.
You make more.
Right.
Right.
We make more money. However, from the patron.
Yeah.
Do you know when I give something free, you come in and spend
more money
that you may have spent, right? So it's all a mind thing on both sides, right?
So it's the psychology
of it, right? So, but the thing about it, like I said, it's a pool of restaurants, Caribbean restaurants.
Right.
You also have non-Caribbean restaurants tapping into the Caribbean market.
Caribbean fusion.
Not giving you fusion, Caribbean fuse. Everything is fused. They want to fuse everything. They feel if they put jig sauce and everything, it's fused. They feel if they throw a plantain and something, ooh, it's tropical, right? So everybody is fusing into us.
An oxtail.
But when we fuse into them, they vex, right? But anyway, we in this pond. I can't even call it an ocean. It feels like a pond, and we all kind of doing the same thing. So now you have to kind of like, okay, can I create a good vibe over here? Can you create a good vibe over here? But what is we really doing? You know, I talk to other restaurant owners, and we like really scratching our head right now because it's like, damn, you know I made mistakes in the past, but right now I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
What is it? The economy. And like your friend rightfully said, she can't go out. But she can't go by the bar 5 days for the week.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like with parties. You can't go out every weekend. I don't know about you, but when I go in for carnival, when I was younger, I used to do breakfast fetch, lunch fetch, and dinner fetch, right? You go boat ride, you come home, change. I can't do that anymore. Like, I actually, can't even pass 12 o'clock.
Can I change the gear just a little bit?
Sure.
Have you ever done a boat ride? I just heard you mention boat ride.
I did 2 boat rides in my entire life. I hate doing boat rides.
Oh, no.
So,
why?
Hold up. Let me give you. don't tell me yet, but I'll tell you my reasoning. I've done 2 boat rides too, and I hate doing boat rides.
What?
I'm gonna tell you why. It feels like I'm putting out an exorbitant amount of work, and at the end of the day, the owner of the boat is probably getting 70% of everything that's made on the dollar.
So you said that very nice and politically. I don't do boat rides because I will be damned if I pack somebody's boat and stand up and watch my patron spend $300-400 for a bottle on your boat.
On your boat.
It's not happening. So let me just stay off respectfully off the boat.
The math is disgusting.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Some people like boat rides because for them it's comfortable work, right? But I always tell people, like, if you're now starting out in the business, I never suggest boat rides because I always tell them, like, listen, remember, if you don't sell all your tickets, the boat gotta leave.
Yep.
Once the boat leave, money can't make.
Yep, that's
but if
it for you.
If you're a newcomer and you're trying something, I would suggest going on land because, like me, I don't go to boat rides like that, right? Because I need to be able to leave whenever I want to leave somewhere.
Right.
But if you have something and I want to support you, right? I could stop in for half an hour, 45 minutes.
Right.
I can't do that on a boat. So people ask me my opinions all the time, and I always tell them, like, listen, as a newcomer, I don't think boat rides is a good position to put yourself into.
Somebody say if you do a boat ride, you need the Titanic.
I don't need no Titanic, okay? Unless they give me the boat and I have access to the bar. But and the Titanic is go down, so no.
So, and speaking about that, I did a boat ride 2 times. The second time, I paid for the entire boat, including the bar.
Right.
The boat owner still came out ahead because guess why? I had to buy the drinks from him.
Exactly. So that's what I said. I don't do boat rides.
Yeah, I don't. I hate the math.
And I can't decorate boats. And have you ever seen me in one of my events?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I've been backstage with you a couple of times.
Like I'm doing stuff or whatever. Like, what am I gonna do on a boat? I'm like stuck.
Yeah.
Like I just be like, okay, when is boat going back?
Go by the captain and say, look, the Statue of Liberty. We heading there.
You know, so boat rides are not like it doesn't like jiggle my creative juices, you know, and I'm not knocking anybody because there's some people who do boat rides and they have guaranteed sell out. The maths works for them because there's some people in business. Once 1+1 + 2 is good, they're good. My mind don't work like that. Like I like to take, I don't know what is wrong with me. Maybe my mind should work like that, but I just like the challenge of, you know, so I just really don't.
Because I'm like, you know what? I've never heard you
I don't do cool effects. I've never done a cool effect. I'm not knocking it. Cool effects are fun. I don't do cool effects because of the safety issue. Like all that, I'm allowing you to drink at your own will. Even at an all-inclusive, believe it or not, I could control the drinking to a certain level. But at cool effects, I don't like the control that I do not have in terms of the way people drink. I don't know if you ever noticed, like in cool effects, people are... their vibe is on 100, right?
All the big parties that got shut down in Brooklyn was due to the cool effects.
Just like
afterwards,
Juve, you know, like the Juve.
They would be
like
peeing
people
on
have a
people's
different
lawn.
level of freeness, but for me, like I like to have a level of control over. I mean, there are times you have absolutely none, right?
Right.
Because you could have a whatever, but when people are buying drinks, they're buying based on what they're spending, so they're more conscious. And at all inclusive, there's a level of control that I could still maintain. Yes, even though some people will. Yeah. But with a cooler fed where I'm saying pack your cooler and bring whatever. I feel like for me,
What is an event that you haven't done yet that you're looking at?
An event that I haven't done?
Yeah, like a type of event.
I started and I didn't complete it because I have so much on my plate, but I really want to do a proper Caribbean version of that pop-up dinner in Prospect Park.
You did one, right?
I did one, but it was on a smaller scale because I feel like the pop-up dinner in Prospect Park, it's not a Black-owned event, right? They bring 8,000 people, almost 8,000 people to sit in a park. I've seen this with my own eye. People line up all cool and casual. 8,000 people, no argument, no fight, sit, break bread, eat, blah, 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 blah. I would like to be able to do one that is run by a Caribbean platform where Caribbean people could do that similar pop-up dinner. But for me, I don't want people to bring food. I want to be able to use that platform to showcase Caribbean caterers, chefs, businesses and stuff. So all you got to do is kind of bring the setup for your table. Right. I will provide the food or whatever. And at the same time, use it as an opportunity to showcase people's talents and stuff, because we have a lot of restaurants, but we have a lot of, I could say ASS.
Yeah.
We have a lot of...
yeah, we could say that.
We have a lot of badass...
Yeah.
I say auntie chefs.
Yeah.
Auntie chefs, right? When I do my events, my food, yes, Savannah cooks a vast majority of the food, but I use that opportunity to hire the tanties and the aunties and the ones, because I get food. I don't get that commercialized vision of, so...
I was at Chic for the Love of Carnival. The food there was... Whew.
I use that opportunity to try to bring, when I tell you they have some real, serious cooks, cook, auntie tanties, people cooking, men too, uncles cooking from home. They just don't have the platform of being able to have their own business. And
how do you go about curating or finding people like that?
I mean, I meet people all the time. I mean, I meet people over the years, and some of them, I've been using some of the same people for years because, you know, when you find somebody that's good, you use them, right? And then the minute I find somebody new, I'm on it. If someone tells me, hey, try so, I'm like always open. Like people
what if somebody's listening right now and they're like, hey, I want this opportunity. Can they reach out to you?
Like, I always have, like, once I can give opportunity, I always try to pay it forward, right? So all the people that, believe it or not, all the people that I cook for me or vendors that I use, these are not my friends. Some of them are friends now,
right?
But these are people that just took the chance and
reached
came
out
in my DM and said, and if you don't know me, but I'm very greedy. Right?
I did not know that. I can go
by points. I'm very greedy. Like, I like to eat, right? So all you gotta do is come in my DM and say, hey, I have a pilaf for you to taste, right? Right? I have a pilaf for you to taste. That's all you gotta tell me. And once I don't even care if you like it. Once in my head, it's good. I'm like, yo, how much for a pound of this? And that's how most of the people, I mean, I'm talking about from my person, my puffs, my Polori, my this, my that, my whatever. This is how it is, because obviously, Savannah, we can't do everything. My staff will probably kill me, but I always tell people, I mean, I know sometimes my face looks a little, you know, but I am like so easy to talk to because I believe in paying it forward. Because I always tell people, like, I would not be where I am today if somebody didn't show me the way.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know. I just like our people to just reach where they're going, you know. And sometimes in order for us to reach where we're going, we have to talk, we have to ask information. A lot of times people don't reach where they're going or living in New York for years, and it's like, I meet people all the time and they'll be like, I don't have a bank card.
Yeah.
What? We mean you don't have a bank card? Like, you know, you have a passport, you have come, let me take, like, you know. So it's because they don't want to ask. They're scared to ask. They you know, some people just, they don't, you know. So I would tell people, like, ask me anything. So I don't hide my vendors. I share. Let
me ask this question. You have the event in Grenada. You have the event in St. Lucia, right? You said you had a lot of challenges pulling it off Mother Nature, right? What was the thought process going into those things, right? I know you said at one point you got comfortable and now you have to kind of expand out. So what was the thought process going into it, and what is the thought process now that you have been in?
So we chose St. Lucia. My good friend Donna, she chained me up about St. Lucia. And the thing about it is, you know, I love St. Lucia. We honeymoon in St. Lucia. I love St. Lucia. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try. But you know, Grenada, I'm half Grenadian by now, right? And I love Grenada,
you
right?
have your passport.
And let me tell you, despite the challenges, right, that took place in St. Lucia and Grenada, these events were amazing. Like, I could not have been happier with it. Like you know,
I think I'd sent you a couple of screenshots,
it's very often,
right?
Like, you know, you do stuff and you could feel proud of yourself, right? Like, I was like really, really like, you know, I don't even know which one more. I would say Grenada a little bit more because Grenada was a little bit more challenging. Like, it was a football field. Like, anybody know Montrouge playing field? Like, even when we decided to go Montrouge playing field, people was like, you going where?
Yeah.
Who's party in Montrouge?
It was originally at the yard, right?
The yacht club, right? Yeah. So when we decided to go, people was like, you put in your fete in Montrouge? Yeah. And I was like, yeah. It gonna work, right? But I so cannot wait for next year,
right? Because
of course, and it didn't really have a lot of challenges when I say, I mean, it rained, but the vendors and the people was really, really cool to work with. Now, after going St. Lucia and Grenada, that's when everybody's like, my Trinity is like, wait, hold up. Yeah. So you went St. Lucia, you went Grenada, and I always used to be hesitant. I mean, Trinidad is my home, but I used to be a little hesitant because the market over there is so oversaturated.
Right.
So I used to be like, you know what, I'm staying out of Trinidad. It's too oversaturated, and I just don't want to get caught up in the mumble jumble. And I stopped myself the other day. So I have a group chat with 40 in each group chat. I went to Bishop Anstey High School, and then I did like 6th form in another school. I'm in 2 group chats with 40 classmates. So that's 80 classmates.
Right.
Half of them live in Trinidad. And they're like, Natalie, you're not ever going to do anything here? And I'm like, me, not me. I stay in my lane. I good. I'm not coming.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? We here. I will take 5 tickets. I will take 3 tickets. I will take 2 tickets and so forth. And then I had to check myself and I say, hold up. You boldface going any people St. Lucia. You boldface going any people Grenada. Right?
Yeah.
And you pumping brakes to go in your
own,
home
your
where
own
you
place.
grew up,
Yeah.
where you went to school,
Yeah.
where you went all the way 6th form, tolerate all that. What?
Yeah.
Where you still I'm like, listen, I go in. Whether I get 500 or 1,000, whatever it is,
Yeah.
I go in. And one thing I will say, everywhere has their own setting of how they do things, party-wise and stuff like that, because, you know, Trinidad is supposed to be the Mecca. That's what we say, right? And they do have a set way of doing events, and there's a certain way that they do it. But for me, I don't want to follow anybody's rules. I want to do it how I do it. I want to bring what I bring, because I honestly feel like, this is no shade, but sometimes I feel like they look down on the New York promoters. They don't feel like we bring it. And it's not really fair, because there's a lot of us up here, bigger promoters and smaller promoters. When I say smaller, meaning smaller size crowd, that is bringing it, right? But because we're from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Brooklyn making up half of the carnivals all over. So
Brooklyn DJs, Brooklyn participants.
DJs, Brooklyn, like somebody dissed a Brooklyn, I love him to that, but he dissed the Brooklyn DJs the other day and he said Dubai have better DJs, right?
Yeah.
Love him to that, but at the same time, yeah, we have a little thing here, but we can't diss where we from.
Right.
This is Brooklyn. I can't go on diss the Brooklyn thing. So for me, I just want to do it my way. What I accustomed doing. I want to be able to use Brooklyn DJs. I want to be able to take some of the vendors that I work with in New York and let them showcase their food in Trinidad. And Trinidad are real vendors, of course, but I just want to do it my way.
How has the early reception been for?
It's been good. Yeah. It's been shockingly good.
Nice.
So I'm kind of like, I could be a little nervous, like, you know, but it's good when I'm nervous, because that means I do extra, right? I do extra when I'm nervous. You know, I'm nervous because, you know, you don't ever want to, I was nervous as hell in Grenada.
Why?
Because when all they pong real hard, right?
But I sent you some comments that people made
it was good.
After, and the general consensus that I saw online is that people were very impressed by what you came and
remember,
and
it's a
did.
higher price ticket, right? It's not like a $40 fed. It's not like a $50 fed. So you can't really charge people over 100 US or whatever, and again, don't give them value for their money.
And it was inclusive too,
right?
right?
It was all inclusive.
Right.
Yeah, make sure drinks and run out. It's like, you don't even want a water.
Just give them rum. Just
give them rum.
Yeah,
well,
just give them
that works all the time.
Yeah.
But I would, on St. Lucia, there was a sense of calm.
Yeah.
Right? And St. Lucia was nice in its own way. I don't know, St. Lucia Carnival is vibes.
Right.
Grenada, I was like nervous. I was like, nervous because, like I say, you know, when all they start, you know, I'm always in a house with Canadians, right? So, you know, when they start a pong here, it's like,
it's heavy
she
pong.
come here, she come here, and then I know water in the party. So I'm like, you know, but it turned out well, and I incorporated a lot of Grenadian vendors, and there's Trini people living in Grenada.
A lot.
Yes, a lot.
As well. So I was able to incorporate both.
So where next?
Where next?
Yeah, what island?
I don't know about that, you know. Let me just get over Trinidad.
Yeah.
You know, some people take their brands and island hop, right? Mm-hmm. I have to see if that's practical, right?
Okay.
Because believe it or not, a lot of the islands don't have the ability to
the infrastructure.
do a level, to do certain things for numerous events, you know, and also you have to be able to place yourself in the right dates, timing, time frame, and stuff like that, you know. And even if you do have a good brand, it doesn't necessarily mean you could just go and chuck yourself in the people thing. You have to tiptoe, and you have to, I think you have to be respectful about how you go about it, because, you know, in the other islands, I mean, people always say, oh, you can't go to Trinidad and do you know, but it's the same thing with other islands. You have to be, you can't just go, like, if I go to Trinidad, I'm bringing Brooklyn DJs who are Trinidadian. But you can't go to St. Lucia, you can't go to Grenada and not hire the local talent. It's not right.
Right.
And to be honest, in St. Lucia, I only had local DJs. the New York DJs didn't make it.
Right.
You know, and it worked.
Nice.
Big up Levi Chin and what's his name? Hollywood
HP.
Yeah, Hollywood HP. Levi Chin is a boss though.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Big up to the local DJs.
And same thing with the DJs that I used in Grenada. They held it down.
Yeah.
And I've never heard any of them play. So it was like
nice.
Cross fingers, hope
They
for
were
the best.
local DJs?
Yeah, I kind of split it. I think we used Black Storm, Kevin Fearless.
Yeah, Fearless.
Fearless, come on.
Somebody else I'm missing. There's Jabba.
Kingpin?
Maybe.
I think you use Kingpin.
I think so. I can't keep up.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I think you had one.
But they were good. They were good.
So, switching gears a little bit, I see that you and your son has opened.
My son and I.
Yeah, has opened
The pizza shop.
The pizza shop.
Yes. Have you come for pizza yet?
I haven't as yet.
What?
I haven't as yet. But the plan is to, when we come, I want to do some
Sure.
content. So
Yeah,
we
so
haven't
the
made the
pizza
time as
shop,
yet.
The pizza shop has been different because the pizza shop is a takeout model for me. I've never done takeout. The most takeout I've done is during COVID, right? Which was forced takeout, right? The thing with the pizza shop, I had to have conversations with myself because, you know, for years I've been doing business and it's just been me, right? Meaning me and then, you know, Davis, but me, my name or whatever. And I think and this is just my truth here, I think when I had this whole thing about getting the pizza shop for Bashi and building something for him and teaching him things as we go along or whatever, I didn't really understand what it would come with, you know, because there's a different level of protection you have when it comes to your kids, right? So I didn't expect it to take off this way. I didn't expect it to get the media that it started to get so fast. And in the beginning, I'll be honest, like I started to get a little nervous and I had to like talk myself down because remember, pizza is not like a curry chicken or jerk chicken. Pizza, everybody eats pizza. So you're welcoming everybody into your world. And you know, the internet have trolls and stuff like that, and you know, people just talk madness. And
people mean.
I don't know, you've never met my son, right? He might look quiet, but when you get to know him, he's not. He is that kid, like you can't hide anything. He goes and does Google search, he does this, he does that. And he would say things like, Mom, somebody said something about my dreads, or Mom, somebody said whatever. And like, what people don't understand, like, you know, why did I open this pizza shop? Let me just explain. I was spending a lot of money on birthday parties for Sebastian every year. When I realized after the birthday party done the bill, I spent like 12 grand on a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year, because we moms get carried away and the birthday party is about us. Yeah. Right? It's about us, right? And then my son is becoming more and more like he's not interested. He don't even want you to sing happy birthday in the party. Right. So I'm like, why am I spending this money on whatever? Yeah. And my son loves pizza. I'm a business owner. His stepdad is a business owner. His dad has a barbershop on wheels. We all work for ourselves. So obviously we don't have a normal lifestyle where we go to bed at 8 o'clock, right? So this is all he's seeing all his life. So I'm like, listen, hear what? We're gonna do something. I just gotta figure out what it is. And that's because pizza is his favorite food. I was able to incorporate and say, how do you feel about this? And we spoke about it. And then when he was turning 10, my broker called me because she always calls me like, I have a spot. I'd be like, yo, stop calling me. Yeah. But she called me. The timing was right. And I was like, listen, the same $10,000 to $12,000 that I would take to spend on a party, I am going to invest in a 10-year lease on a business, right? And that's where it developed. Now, yes, we went into business because we want to make money, right? But the reality of it, what people don't understand is business is a risk. So whether the business is for me or for my son, I'm still taking a risk, right? Very true. However, the good thing about this risk is whether it wins or it loses, a lot is going to be learned, not just for me, but for my son and our relationship. So for example, obviously, because, you know, I'm saying this because I'm going to answer some people's stupid questions that they were asked, right? My son is 10, he's 11, right? Obviously, he does not work in the shop every day. My child goes to school, right? Obviously, come on, I can't bombard him with things constantly. I have to frame him just like how I frame him to get him to do his schoolwork, right? But since this pizza shop has opened, I have seen my child stand taller. Not saying he wasn't before, but
Right.
I've seen a taller Sebastian. Also, I get to teach him things, right? I get to teach him, hey, everybody ain't gonna like you. Hey, you can't please everybody. This person will like what you have, and this person wouldn't like have. I get to teach him the value of money. No, you can't get this because mommy need money to buy cheese.
Right.
If I don't have money to buy cheese, we can't sell the pizza. I get to show him, hey, you know why you need to know how to add 1 and 1? Because you can't add $1 and $1. You only asking me for Robux money, right?
Right.
So this is also an opportunity for me because as a business owner, I don't get to spend the normal time that a person who working a 9-to-5 job gets to spend with their child.
Right.
Right? So my child is always on my hip. When y'all come to shush, he's backstage in a corner. Because I don't pay for babysitters and I don't have nobody watch my child. Mm-hmm. Just like his school knows, when we travel, he's on the plane. Once I'm leaving the country, he's on the plane. I don't care.
Period.
Period.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, I teach him little things about health department. If my son see a cockroach in my house, he want to move. So imagine if he see it in the pizza shop, right? So I teach him little things, health department, bit by bit.
Yeah.
Sebastian, things can't be on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
This can't be like this. You can't mix this with this. Raw food can't be above this. Cooked
Right.
food, and bit by bit. And as he gets a little older, hey, come let me show you the register and teach him certain things. But it wasn't just about the money part of it. Of course, I have a 10-year lease, and believe it or not, my child is 11. In 10 years, he's going to be 21.
Mm-hmm.
When my son turns 16, he could tell me he wants to be a barber.
Yeah.
We don't have to look for no space. If you want to take the pizza shop and flip it into
A barber
the lease
shop,
is already secured.
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to do is, because here's the thing, we rush to buy a house to leave for our children, but we leave them with a mortgage.
Yep.
Right? I just trying to leave my son with the opportunity to say he learn new things.
So let me put something here. What you described for me. So I used to be a business banker. I used to work in banking. And when the Jewish clients came in, that's what they did.
Absolutely.
The kids were always with them.
The Italians too?
In the bank. Sometimes I would do the visits and the kids are sitting there right with them.
Yeah.
On the work sites, they would have them in the little hard hats, the little vests, fluorescent vests. And that I think is missing from our community because we like to deal with minors. Like when I say minor, not minor kids, but the minor
but the thing
little
is,
stupid
not
things.
to cut you off, like I can't tell you how to raise your child. I would never tell anybody how to run their household, and nobody can tell me how to run mine. We live in a different climate. You see that whole thing with back in the days.
Yeah.
I cannot raise my child how my mother raised me.
Amen.
And if she tried to raise me how her mother raised, the most I could do is take the little things that my mother taught me and my grandparents taught me about respect and humility and being kind. I could teach those things. But we live in a different time. We live in a different time where these children who go into school, we used to get licks for school.
Yep.
For school. You can't beat these children for school work. The more you beat them, the less they learn.
The less they want to learn.
They want to learn, right? You have, for me, I try to be on the same understanding. Understand who your child is. Understand. College fund, the man might tell me he want to be a rapper. I don't know. The man might tell me he want to be a priest. I don't know. The bottom line is one thing I know is I can't raise him how I was necessarily raised because we in a different time. These kids doing different things.
Yep.
They're 10 steps ahead of us.
They are.
So, sometimes I argue with my friends all the time. They say, it's not your children friend.
Yeah.
I am the parent, but I want to be my child friend too.
Right.
Here why?
Because both things can be true.
It have to work because sometimes they speak more to their friends than they talk to their parents. If you're fortunate to have a relationship where your child tells you everything, great.
Count yourself.
But sometimes you have to play that friend role because you have to come down to earth and speak their language. You know what I mean? And that's what I do now. That may not work for you. You understand? Who knows? 5 years from now, Sebastian might cuss me in the street and all they might say, but that ungrateful little boy, you know how much thing it's going to do for him? The bottom line is, we're going to do the best that we could do. Teach them the best everything. The thing about it, I tell people, give your children everything that you could give that you couldn't get.
Right.
All you can give them is opportunity and teach them to be respectful and kind and hope that they do whatever, So sometimes people ask me crazy things like, oh, he's been in the shop every day or da-da-da-da. Even sometimes on social media when I see people, because it has been getting a lot of social media, and I'm not going to lie, like, I used to take things personal, and I realized why, because it's him. Like, you could tell me anything about me, I don't care, right? But with him, I think one day, like, I sit down and I was crying in the car and I had to check myself because somebody said something on social media and I ready to go and tell two big stone, right? And, there's another pizza shop. I call no names because I don't like to give them energy, but it's similar, right? It goes with slices, whatever. Yeah. And people say, oh, is it like a whatever? Yeah. And I say, hold up. Because one thing I have is receipts.
Yeah.
Let me say it here right now. I've been making oxtail pizza since 2015.
Right.
They have other restaurants like Zurili and other places been making oxtail pizza, jerk chicken pizza, whatever. They have other restaurants who making oxtail tacos way before I'm doing it.
Right.
The difference is you may get a platform before me.
Right.
But because you get a platform before me, that means you making it before me. That's the world we live in.
Yeah.
With black people, with our people. Oh, I was doing it first. So was doing it first. While we quarreling about that though, it have 1,000 Italian restaurants on each block making the same calzone, whatever, pizza, garlic nuts. Chinese restaurant on each block making the same general ticket, chicken. Them and quarreling.
Yep.
But if somebody else open a pizza shop selling jerk chicken.
Yeah. Why do you think that is among our people?
It is the most mind-blowing thing for me because I guarantee you, your jerk chicken and tasting like my jerk chicken. Right. Even with all the Jamaican restaurants that have now.
Yeah.
Nobody think it tastes the same.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know. They must put something. I don't know. The aliens. We must be the aliens. But I could never understand that. So like, I had like, even like that particular restaurant is arguing under a post.
Wow.
Because how you arguing about a post about an 11-year-old boy? You have 300,000 followers on your page.
Yeah.
If you have 300,000 followers on your page and you have time, I think at that time we had 610 followers.
Yeah.
If you have time to acknowledge
that means either
I was like, okay, I guess this pizza tasting okay. It had to be bothering you, right? Because to me, it's like, but that's in our circle. I don't know why we do that. It's a horrible thing, and I don't know if that's one of the things that stifles our market as well, because we're always busy watching what other people doing. You can't, in business, listen, you have to be aware of what people doing, because if you're in the same market, of course you're going to be aware. But you have to learn to mind your business too, because when you're busy minding someone else's business, you lose track of
your own. And
listen, I'm human. I've been there. I'd be like, hey, catch yourself.
I've been at
sometimes somebody else have a party going on and you're on the page and they're saying, oh God, what time they doing their thing like my, and I have to talk to myself, say, hey, check yourself.
Natalie, I have that conversation with me all the time.
We human,
like,
so
why are you so caught up in what that person do?
It's a human thing.
Just chill.
I myself do it, and then I'm better at it, but I'm still human. So I'll be like, okay, Natalie, get your fruits, get your thing together.
Yeah.
You gotta mind your business, because when you're not minding yours, somebody else, and that goes a long way in business. We, like people always say, if a restaurant open next year, I wish 3 restaurants will come and open next to Savannah, because what people don't understand is one restaurant as opposed to 4 restaurants on a strip. What you just created was a strip, a hub that people are going to come to. But the average thinking mind is, I don't want to be next to this person, and we're selling the same thing. You can't hold it. Come like events. I can't hold everybody. I don't want to hold everybody. So even like the Memorial Day or the New Year's Day or whatever days, they cannot have one party, because we can't hold everybody. We have different crowds. We have different demo. It's just different.
Different aesthetics.
Nothing is wrong if there's different things going on and you give the public options or whatever. Now it's your job to keep your thing going. And like I tell people all the time, like, listen, you feel I never bust? Now, I may not bust on the outside where you might see it bust, right?
Right.
Because I'm very good at making 500 people look like 1,000. I'm great at that, right? But from a financial, you think I never bust? Real bust. But you take your bus
And
you move on. And you keep it moving, and then you tell yourself, okay, how could I avoid this? Or maybe this event need to scale down, or maybe this event is, you know.
Have you ever thought about like teaching like a master class in things like that?
I wouldn't say I thought about teaching a master class. What I would say is when people ask me, I speak, I don't hide anything.
Right.
Most people, most promoters, new, old, whatever, that's one thing. They can say whatever they say about me, but they know if they call me for anything, even if I don't like you,
right,
I will, because information is free. You're not supposed to be hiding. I'm not a person, me don't want to tell this person, I'll tell you straight up. If you call me for a venue and your crowd is not up to par, I tell you straight up, I say, listen, I'll give you the number for venue.
Yeah.
But this particular event you have, it's a wild crowd, and if the people call me for a referral, please don't put me in that position. I've been there where I've told people have called me for referrals, and I would say, hey, listen, this person is a nice guy, he's cool, but I don't feel comfortable giving up a referral. And then there are people I will give a referral because we're not friends,
right,
but I'll say, you know what, I know what they bring to the table. It will work well with your venue. You understand? So I don't know, a class, because they might say she feels she know everything, but it's not really that. It's because I learn from the young people too,
right,
younger people or the younger promoters coming up. But, I've been kind of doing it for a long time, and I've seen the industry go through like so many changes and both industries.
So one of the reasons I enjoy having this conversation with you is that every time you come here, I feel like I learn something.
Right.
Right. I take something. I definitely have visions of doing business and expanding what I'm doing here into something bigger and, with wider reach. And I always try to take some of the lessons that you have, because at the end of the day, we're in a service business. We're reaching people, and pretty much our target market is the same. I'm in broadcast media, you're in entertainment, curation of events. So a lot of the things that I've taken from you, I've been able to successfully go and put it back into the thing. So I just thinking about everything that, we've worked together, streaming events and stuff like that.
I wish some of us will talk a little bit more in our industry.
Right.
That's something that we started over with the restaurant. I'm in a restaurant group chat, and that happened since COVID, and it's one of the best things that ever happened. Like, I'm in a chat with like probably 100 and something people with restaurants spread out, like everybody. And, we share this chat and we talk about who has a plumber, who has a bartender to learn, who has because COVID did that. Like, we needed the help, we needed this or whatever. I feel like in the industry, I wish we could talk a little bit more. Sometimes the talk that we talk is cheap. You say one thing and then you turn around and somebody does something else or whatever. I'm in a fish with men. We hardly have women.
Right.
We hardly have women. Women sometimes seem to be more organized than men, but even sometimes you just get fight down from women just as much too.
Right.
People we live in a culture right now where everybody's just kind of like, let me look out for myself, which is okay, but sometimes you can't really kind of like live like that, because especially in this industry, they don't see us individually. It's one Caribbean. So for example, I'll give you an example. They had the Kes concert the other night, right? My friend and I got in a huge argument about this, and I'm sure you guys saw the video where they were having a fete on the block, on the sidewalk, right? And it's like everybody it was posting all over, it was viral, and it was like, oh my God, look, Trini to the bone, and blah, 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 blah. And it was cool, right? And I could tell I wouldn't be doing it because I ain't stand up in no cold breeze jamming, right? But for me, I'm watching it and I'm slightly cringing inside. And I'll explain why. Because you guys are not out there when we have to go get a venue. So I'll give you an example. That Cash show was hosted by Live Nation.
Oh. Wow.
That Cash show was hosted by Live Nation. That venue is a Live Nation venue.
Brooklyn Paramount.
Brooklyn Paramount, right? Or affiliated. If Natalie and Kareem was showing that Cash show and that took place outside, problems. It would have been problems. Who's Natalie? Who's Kareem? Who's this one, that one? If it was a local promoter showing that show and that bacchanal took place outside, it would have been problems after.
Game over.
Who threw this event? Police come, bacchanal, summons this. but Live Nation is one of the biggest promoters
in the world.
So they can get away with that, right?
That's Jay-Z in them.
But I am cringing. I'm cringing when I see it. Now, while everybody, Trinity the world we reach.
Yeah.
Why we reach? Because it have a parade of people singing soca on Flatbush Avenue after a concert. That's not what I see.
Right.
What I see is shit. When we go to get venues and permits and stuff, this is what they see. It could be another genre of music concert, and they do the same thing, which you don't see often, but they could do the same thing, and they don't view us like how they view them. So I'm cringing because when we go to venues and we're trying to get the large venues and stuff or whatever, it's like you're giving blood. It's like you have to prove yourself. You have to show up people's dress. You have to show all this because their vision of what Caribbean does, they always feel like we're loud and we make noise and we leave scraps on the floor. They always think of us like that. So, for me, I didn't really like it. And, I'm not mad at it, but I didn't really like it because I know these are the things that the powers that be look at it. Now, don't get me wrong. The powers that be is not the cops on the side of the road that
just following orders.
Right? It's the same way. When you go on the parkway, the cops just be having a good old time.
Very true.
But they hate us on the parkway. Who hates us? Not the cops that dancing through the band and they're glad to see naked women. These are average Joes. They're cool. They like the parkway. They get to see nakedness. The powers that be is above them. They hate us. That's why the parkway is shorter and shorter and whatever, right? So when I say the powers that be, not the cops that outside Paramount. Oh God, not them. It have the powers that be that walling. Look at this shit.
So let me, and I always like to think big picture, right? What is it going to take to get us to the next level where we our people have our own Brooklyn Paramount?
I don't know. That's that is a question of the century. I don't know. Like people make comments all the time. I don't know why the promoters don't come together and open a venue.
That's not going to happen.
It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. That's real business. And believe it or not all promoters conduct real business. Some promoters are in this business as a hustle. So you can't expect and I'm not knocking the hustle because if you're making a hustle, by all means, make your hustle. But the reality of it is, once you're collecting money from the community and you're paying out people as business, right? You can't have people who treat things like a hustle and expect them to become organized. A lot of us don't know how to get organized. We don't even know how to get organized with ourselves. You want us to get organized together? you want us to open a venue together? Who's doing it? Who's doing it? A lot of people think the parties is just put a party on Eventbrite, print some tickets, book the DJ, book the venue. It have taxes. Permits. It have real thing. It have permits. It have some people go the easy route, so it's not that easy. I hate to hear people say, "Oh, I don't know why the promoters don't come together." It doesn't work like that. It doesn't really work like that at all.
So I think for me, a big piece that's missing from the whole scene is education, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I give an example with myself. When I used to work retail, right? I had dreams of owning a home, but I considered myself intelligent. I'm a smart person, but I always thought I needed like $700,000, $200,000 in the bank to own a home, because all I'm hearing is, a home is full, right? Started working in banking, and within 2 years I owned a home.
Right.
Because now I was in an environment where I got the education necessary, and I realized how easy it is. So I feel like a big piece that's missing from that is the education of what it takes.
Some people, sometimes you have to be careful. This is my opinion of the words you use, right? Because some people think of education and all they think is school. So I don't really like to use that word. Right?
Okay.
I like to say knowledge. Knowledge is power. And that's what I said to you. There are people living in this country for years and could acquire things that they do not have because they're scared to ask a question. things that they could have gone that now they can't even get anymore because they pull the plug on X or Y or Z. Why? Because we were taught to be shh, hush, 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 don't ask no question, don't let anybody know your story, whatever, right? Knowledge is power. You cannot be scared to ask. The most you can get is a yes or no or don't know.
Yep.
Right? And yes, you will ask questions to people, and some of them will not share their knowledge. And that's okay, because they will pay for that 10 steps down the line. You understand? But I tell people, I feel like God has blessed me because that's one of my things. I just share knowledge because, like I said, I wouldn't be where I am today if somebody didn't share some type of knowledge with me. And I actually think there's a lot of people I met that I know could have shared a lot more with me, and they didn't want to share it, maybe because, let me tell you why people don't share things with people. Your potential. The potential that people see in people. Sometimes you don't even have the potential yet, you know. You ain't reached nowhere yet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But people is jealous of you because of the potential. Does that make sense? That's sounding crazy, right?
No.
People, the potential of the potential that you have coming your way, people scared of it.
Let me tell you, I have had that battle right here.
Of course, with anything that you do.
People will help you until they see you being bigger than them at some point.
People cannot, you see, sometimes in life, the teacher becomes the student as well. And the student becomes the teacher. And sometimes the student and the teacher side by side, and everybody needs to be okay with it, but not everybody is okay with that. Some people believe that, okay, if I'm here, that person could be here. They could be here, you know, but they can't be here. And God forbid they're here. Yep. But part of embracing who you are is you have to understand everything is a timing, right? And everybody has its time. And you have to know when is your time to shine here, and you have to understand when it's your time to shine here, because your shine ain't really got nothing to do with me, because I guarantee you, we didn't walk the same path. I don't know how you got there, and you sure as hell don't know how I get there. Sure. But that's a level of understanding is a little bit higher than it, you know, for us to understand, and that's why we have that block or whatever. That's the biggest block in, I'm gonna say, Caribbean community.
You mentioned the whole social media thing earlier, right? And I think for me, that's one of my biggest fears. Do I want to disrupt my peace? Because I like to be able to just move seamlessly versus doing something like having a radio station and having your face out there and people always have an opinion. Like, sometimes it's hard just to see that and not want to defend yourself.
Social media is a gift and a curse, right? And, you know, a lot of people use it for marketing. And like I told you, social media, I always tell people I'm human, right? And again, like when I opened the pizza shop with Sebastian, it was a real reality check, because this is not me quarreling with Kareem, Kareem under the post saying, one thing he judged, right? This is strangers. Then they have people trolls. They're just talking as like, oh, his black parents opened this. I mean, because, you know, we've done media, right? So people say all sorts of crazy things. Don't get me wrong. They say lots of great things, right? But some people would just be mean, like, oh, his parents black, where they get our money from? They know we paint in the pizza shop, you know, like things like that, right? But social media is hard. And I had to have the conversation myself, and I was like, Natalie, what you getting on so for? How you think Beyonce dealing with this? You ain't even close to Beyonce level. You in the car crying because somebody said something about Sebastian here, right? Somebody said something about Sebastian here, and you want to fight, right? Beyonce and these people dealing with this 24 hours a day and a million. And I had to shake myself and say, girl, you better put on your big girl panties and chill out, And, you know, but then because I have a child who goes on social media, who now, you know, he has his own page, and sometimes he coming under my page and he comment, and I say, hey. I think that's right? Because he low-key sarcastic and funny, right?
You unblocking him?
God, you know. So
I blocked my daughter on WhatsApp. I don't want her to see any of my WhatsApp stories. I can't
block my child. Listen, right now my child have a tracker on me. I can't even say I'm 10 minutes away from home. He like, Mom, you buy Target, right? But the thing about it is like social media could be real harmful, real detrimental, real everything bad, but then be good at the same time. But I would say, listen, we live in a climate where people boo and clap at the same time, if that makes sense. Like people boo and clap at the same time. They praising you today.
Yep.
And then they cussing you tomorrow, and they can come back next week and praise you again. And once you know you out there, and if you don't have belly for it, I suggest it. I don't have belly for it.
I don't think I have the belly for it.
But it is what it is. But I'll be honest, like it's not fun all the time. That's why sometimes people say, "Oh, her face look always like serious," and But let me just stay in a corner.
So somebody was asking how you block your kids, then how you gonna see them? No, I blocked her so she can't see my stories.
You blocked her from the stories? From the stories,
okay. Yeah. So any story, I can't. Yeah, I post. I'm like, there is a list you can set, like everybody except. Yeah. She's in the accept list.
Can she block you from her stories?
She can't. I have a whole phone in my phone.
Okay, got
Anything
it. Okay.
she does, I can see. I can deal with it. So let's switch up gears a little bit. So we have Chic coming up.
Yes. Let me tell you how busy I am. Do you know I'm so busy that I didn't even realize this is Chic number 10?
Oh, so you didn't even have time to promote it as 10.
I didn't even get a chance to say, guys, celebrating 10 years. That's how my mind has been for 2024. Like it just hit me the other day. Like
is year 10?
10 years. Like when did we get to like year 10? But anyway, have you been to Chic?
Yeah.
I am like so excited for Chic.
Yeah. So what can we expect?
What can you not expect?
For somebody who has never been to Chic before, what can they expect?
Let me tell you why I love Chic. My Chic.
Yeah.
To be clear. It's a room full of people. And Corey, I'm stealing your word. I have to tell Corey, I'm stealing his word because they go and say, Corey, look, she used the word black excellence.
Yeah.
Oh God, she teach black excellence, right? But I'm stealing your word, Corey, for 1 minute. When I do Chic, I feel like I'm standing in a room of black excellence. And I'm saying that not to say it doesn't have different races. Right. Just hear me out. Everybody's well dressed. You can't tell who is who. You don't know anybody's story. Everybody is well dressed. There's a level of comfort, right? People are comfortable. People could be themselves because my crowd is extremely diverse, right? Everybody. Black, white, LGBT, everybody. And a lot of my audience comes and they say the reason why we come is we feel comfortable because we're grown folks, Now, I do have a very mixed crowd. I tell people this all the time. My crowd ranges from 25 to 65. I have the young person who have an old spirit. I have the old person who looking better than you and me.
Yep.
I have that mixed crowd. But what I love about Chic is that one day that you could just put aside all the BS that took place for all them other days the year before. And you just really kind of feel like, you look good, you feel good. And that's the concept this year. Because, last year we did black and white, right? And everybody keeps saying, you said your theme is Vogue. What does that mean? And the theme this year is really just about a feeling. Right. Like, hey, you ever look in the mirror, right? And you're just feeling good and you're looking good and you feel like, I need to be on the cover of a magazine. Just
every
me
morning
by
I wake
myself
up.
from head to toe, right? That's what this year's Chic is about. It's about forget everybody. Like, you're looking good, but you have one of the most expensive dress or suit or whatever. But there are times where you're feeling yourself. You're like,
I look good. Yeah.
And Vogue is one of the number one magazines. So. Really just about feeling good, being creative with your dress code.
And it's all inclusive again, right?
It's all inclusive. It's all, I've been stuck on all inclusive.
Listen, that Henny bar couldn't run out the last 2 times I was there.
It's not even funny. Yeah. Like this Henny bar is probably, I can't.
Yeah, the Henny bar was amazing.
Yeah. But I mean.
Food was amazing too.
Yeah.
I got there late.
God, y'all could
the
eat.
last one I got there late.
They can eat. I feel like it's, Oh my God.
I'm walking up the step. Natalie was like, Kareem.
You're late.
You're late.
But here's the thing. So the event starts early, you know, and I tell people, if you want the full experience, you
have to
can't
come
show up
early.
at chic at 5 o'clock.
You have
Like
to
it's a
come early.
process, right? You have to come. You have to check your coat. You have to take 1,000,001 pictures because the venue is so picturesque. Like you need to.
Is Russo's this year?
It's not Russo's. So we used a new venue last year. It's called the Michele Elagio.
Where's that one?
It's off of Queens Boulevard. It's close to Club Amadeus. It's beautiful. It's 2 levels and it's just everywhere is like a picture. Every step is a picture. So you have to do your picture thing, get it out to the way, have a drink, eat. I mean, the way how my food court works is people just sit and eat. So my food court became a party downstairs. So there's some people who never even left downstairs, and I like that. Yeah. But listen, it's going to be amazing. Kareem, I ain't hearing anything about your suit or anything. Figure it out.
Yeah, my suit.
I bought you punch a creme, so figure it out.
Yes.
Right? But this is 10 years. This is 10 years of chic.
Nice.
That I did. It would have been, I think 11, but COVID. But it's 10 years of chic. Next year, 16 years of shush. Damn, I'm getting old.
Not looking like what would you go back and tell yourself 16 years ago? Like,
16 years ago?
What would you tell
shush?
What would you tell that young 16 years back self?
I don't know. When I first did shush, the amount of bacchanal that caused in Brooklyn, it's like, what? Because there was only one event back then,
right.
You know.
I remember the first one, you know.
I don't know. I think I would do it exactly
let me tell
how
you,
I did it.
I was like, why the name is so similar?
But the thing about it is 2 totally different names. One means to be bright, and shush means be quiet. Hush is a secret, you know. But you know, again, we West Indian people, all we see is SH, right?
Drama.
But if I had to do it over again, if I had to go back 16 years, I would probably do it exactly
the same.
Nice. You know.
So
I think
what can we expect for 2025? We know the year opens with chic.
2025, well, you know, we're going to Trinidad. We're going back to St. Lucia. We're definitely going back to Grenada.
All right.
I'm still figuring out things because, like I said, like my mind is like all over the place because I feel like a reset is definitely needed. Being in Brooklyn, it doesn't help a lot because the venues are harder to get them. They make, you guys have no idea how difficult they make the venue situation. Like the kind of money that they charge for these venues, it just, sometimes I just want to know if I buy in 2 houses. You know, it's just crazy. So I've been just trying to figure out how do we execute the same way and deliver close to the same thing without.
Do you think we need like a red light district, not with the sex and the weed and stuff like that, but a district where we can say, you know what, this area, this strip is where the clubs are, where the, you know, people go to party.
Well,
to
you
hang
know,
out.
like Brooklyn and New York City don't have the nightlife that it used to have back in the days, meaning club life. Right. So like when I was in my heydays, right?
Had
so
a million clubs.
I was in Cheetahs, I was in Belmont Lounge, I was in Nels. I mean, I gone all the way back, but I was in Limelight. I was clubbing on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday during the week.
Right.
They don't have, I mean, they have underground spots, but the club life is not the same. You know, to be honest, even Kareem, we live in a climate where party done at 11 p.m. Like, you could party after 11 because 11 o'clock I yawning.
Listen, I've been doing an event at a lounge, right? And we say the party is supposed to be 11
I can't party after 11.
3.
11 p.m. to 3 in the morning?
Listen, Natalie, by 1:30, we having a hard time keeping people in there.
People, listen.
By 2 o'clock is a struggle.
Listen, I tell my friends, if it's starting at 11, do not invite me.
So we're gonna have to
keep up.
Right now, it looks like we're gonna have to do the event and say it's like 8 to 1.
Yes,
or 8 to 12 or something like that.
I need to be in bed by 12,
because,
by 12:30. Yeah,
because everybody just seems like they want to go out.
The thing is in, and I think COVID kind of did that to us too, where we kind of trained ourselves and the businesses. But I personally, I can't party after 11:30. Like that's it. Like I looking to go.
So as somebody who's doing events, right, and this happens to me, right? Anytime I go to a party now, my main thing is like the DJ. Like, how is that person playing? When you go to a party, are you able to like decompress, like turn that thing off?
I never decompress in New York.
Yeah.
I can never, because most of the times when I go to an event in New York, it's because I'm going to show my face, right? Because I hear people say, oh, she don't go nobody thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just walk. I don't know about earlier, but if my staff is slammed at the store, I'm not leaving my store to go in a fete.
Right.
So when you see me out, it's because it allows me to be out. I don't call a babysitter to watch my child to go to a fete. That's just me, right? If I have somebody, but very rarely I get to go out in New York where I'm like, okay, I have this outfit I'll go in. So most of the times it's like, okay, I'm going to go show my face here, go show my face. So I don't really get to take it in or decompress. There are people events that I show up, and even if it's for like half an hour, because I will see things that you wouldn't see. I might appreciate things that you may not appreciate. So I will go to somebody's event, and even if I'm there for like 45 minutes, I'll be like, oh my God, they did a nice job. And let me tell you, we have a lot of promoters, and on the smaller side, and I don't mean small promoters. When I say small side, I mean the size of the event.
Right.
There's a lot of promoters that do amazing jobs with details in their events that gets overlooked because they get overshadowed by the bigger ones, right? Or they don't get the platform. It's like the chicken story I tell you about. You get a platform, I don't have a platform, right? There's a lot, right? So I can appreciate that. You would never really see me in a party in New York winding down to the ground. Very
in my J.A.M voice. When last you been to a party?
No, that wouldn't happen. I would quicker decompress when I go away to an event. And even if I go away to an event, like I go to a carnival, I tend to just like to pay attention because in St. Lucia and Grenada, even at different places, they do a lot of nice things. That fete in Grenada, Ultra. Yeah. I was like...
Ultra.
I could have just... When I went to Ultra, I could have just sit down in a corner. There's this fete in Grenada, guys, called Ultra. Yeah. The ticket, it's equivalent. Let me just educate for those who are listening who are not from Grenada. It's equivalent to like a Lime in the Hyatt. Lime fete in Hyatt. I could have sit down in Ultra and just eat.
300 US, listen, but everything is unlimited.
No shame. No. I could have just eaten that party. If I was literally tired from shush the day before, but I could appreciate everything that Ultra does and more. Like everything. Like I was just like,
so let me tell you.
That fete was...
Somebody asked me about going to Ultra. I said, Ultra is expensive. She's like, how expensive? I said, it's like 300 US. She's like, I ain't going that. I'm like, it's absolutely worth it.
Okay, but Kareem...
They went.
And they had a good time?
She's not missing it anymore.
So we have a fete in Trinidad called Lime, right? Yeah. It's at the Hyatt. The tickets are, put it this way, by the time you put the tax and the fees, it's like $407 or something like that. And I'm trying to convince Davis, I'm like, listen. You gotta go to this fete, right? Listen, because he's been to Trinidad before, but he's never been there for Lime. I'm like, listen, you gotta go to this fete, right? It's real expensive. You gotta go there. And he goes, how much is the ticket, right? Yeah. And I'm like, and he's like, what you say? I was like, it's like, don't worry about that, right? But here's the trick, right? They're not doing any physical tickets this year, right? It's only online. So you have to buy with the cards. So I'm like, how the hell am I going to get these tickets without showing -800 coming out saying, right?
I hope Davis not listening right now.
Davis is like, so I broke at him and he's like, $400 for what?
Yeah.
What? He's like, Natalie, I don't want to go, right? Yeah. And he's a real, y'all Grenadians, right? The principal on his stand. He's like,
we're standing on
going,
business.
Right? He's standing on the business. So he's like, what is this I could drink and eat for $400? And I'm like, David, you just have to see him. See what? Yeah. I'm like, no, you just have, like, so I haven't, he's not listening because I know he's doing something. But I have to figure out, I think I might have to, like, I know, they hush it. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to tell him, like, listen, we got comms or something because I want him to experience Lime. Like, I love Lime.
But tell him Lime is the equivalent of Ultra.
David was like, $300? What do you make me come here for tired? But he appreciated it. But
Ultra.
His thing
they had a barbershop in Ultra.
But here's the thing, right?
Makeup station.
But Kareem, You have a wife and you have to pay $800 for a ticket, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
And for me, I think the problem with some people feel like when they price tickets like that, they're creating like a sense of exclusiveness, like you're excluding people, right? But I guess we just live in a life where you could afford some things that I can't afford and vice versa. But let's be real, the average person. But let me tell you something.
That's a lot of money.
When I go to Lime in Trinidad, right? I be like, was she here?
Yeah.
Is she here? I didn't think she could afford this.
You're right.
The reality of it is, people spend money on what they want to spend money on,
and what they value.
And what they value. Because you might assume she spent $400 for a ticket, but the reality is she chose to spend her $400 for the ticket. So it's like, I just have to figure out how am I going to get him to...
Let me tell you, I am in the market for a car and I'm in the market for a new board. The board that I'm willing to buy is more expensive than the car. I'll just put it that. Because that's what I value.
But you want the board.
I want the board.
Right.
So I will rather pay Uber around Brooklyn and jump on the train.
Right.
And get the board because that's what I value.
But I want to go line fit.
Exactly. That's
so
what you value.
If anybody listening who have a little hookup and want to just pelt a ticket and help out a friend, you know, because I don't know. I would have to tell David if we got a free ticket.
So Key Jamming says anything over $100 keeps the riffraffs out.
Okay, that is so. Let me clear up this thing that people have. People seem to think that the more expensive the ticket is, it keeps the riffraff. What do you consider riffraff?
I'm guessing she's saying the better clientele comes in.
The better clientele,
yeah.
You're getting tied up because what people consider riffraff, them buying a ticket before you, me, the non-riffraff. That's a horrible conception. The conception is people always have this thing, right? And I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but we come from a culture of stush crowd, not stush crowd, right?
The VIPs.
You ever hear me saying, you dress up pig in a, what do they say, in a dress, whatever, right? Whatever, right? So we do it up here too in Brooklyn. Oh, that crowd rough, that crowd That's, I could say bullshit. I already said it. That's bullshit, right? When I go to events, the same people that I see in my events, now don't get me wrong, there's a bracket of some people who they just won't come by me, they just won't come by you.
Right.
But generally, it's the same people partying. But here, the environment that you create, they come and they adapt to your environment. And the environment that you create, they will adapt to yours. So if you have an event and you just put 2 speaker box on a bartender, they're going to come and act according to what you give them. If you give them stuff and they walk in and say, oh, good. Yeah. Because you have to make people feel good to be good. Now, I'm not saying that there's an off course where people just wouldn't act up. Right. People drinking alcohol. But that's what it is. And I'm telling you, we have this misconception about stush crowd. In Trinidad, they go uptown and downtown. Yeah. The downtown is what they consider the gangster people, the roughneck. They don't have money. They don't have money.
Yeah, they spend money too.
In Trinidad, we feel if we create 1,000,001 committees and we keep the committee tight and you buy a ticket and you show a picture, you can't get them. And so, how many times they say sold out and you reach outside and the scalpers outside have tickets for all of those high-end feds that they say you can't get a ticket to? That conception of your crowd, my crowd, this crowd, that crowd, money is money. Money is, what do you say, green, whatever color it is. It's $1. And people don't turn away money. So at the end of the day, you think because the ticket is more expensive, it keeps the riffraff out? No. The riffraff come in, the riffraff, that what you call riffraff, have the money. Some of them have the money to buy the ticket. They just act accordingly when they come. That's all.
I want to put this idea out, right? And I want to collaborate with you on this.
What are we doing?
I want to do a New York City Soca Monarch.
A New York City? You trying to get me in trouble. You see that word Soca Monarch? I need to stay very far.
Natalie, I know you have love for the culture.
Soca Monarch with the local people here?
Yeah. And hold up. Work with me. And we invite the winners from each island.
To take part?
To take part.
Oh, Lord, Father Jesus. You all know, Trinidad Soca Monarch is a sensitive topic, right?
It's a sensitive topic for me. So let's explore that.
But
we have
why?
a few more
All
minutes.
this Soca Monarch on point.
Yeah, but Trinidad as the mecca of soca. Hold up. As the mecca of soca. I know for a fact Trinidad is a carnival country and not necessarily a soca country.
Absolutely. I argue that all the time. I've said this to you before. We live in a culture. They do it better now.
Yeah.
But we live in a culture of what's hot for the carnival.
Right.
So we're making a song for the carnival, right? And the problem that the artists were running into, if you're not hot this year, your ass is grass for this year.
Right.
But somebody who asks is grass for this year could come back next year because we live in a culture of who hot this year for the carnival, which is horrible for the industry, right? That's Soca Monarch thing, because the whole thing with the Vibes Cartel show and, it caused whatever, and blah, 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 blah. And, I had strong points on it because, look.
How do you feel about it?
So here's the thing with the Vibes Cartel show, how I felt, right? I felt like, we can't tell people what to do. It's your money, you want to market or whatever, right? They say it's a One Caribbean show, right? My thing is, they could do the exact same show they said they were going to do, but the way that you bring it out to people, like, if you say you're doing it on Carnival Friday, you better start with some soca.
Right.
Right? You better start advertising some soca artists from all the island and then drop Vibes Cartel after. But you cannot release that and then play your setting around a video with Vibes Cartel signing a contract.
Yeah.
That's when people started to make noise because you're sending the wrong message. And then when it blow up in your face, then you have to do a disclaimer. You shouldn't have had to do a disclaimer. You understand? And this is the problem. People get hurry. You could be a cartel, right? And think everybody, people go be happy. But a lot of people really were angry. The next problem is, Trinidadians love my people, West Indian, but we quarrel about things for 5 minutes. We quarrel, we make a little noise, we drink 2 rum, and then after we good, right?
Yeah.
So the message is gone. But I didn't have an issue with anything. I have an issue with the way that they market it. If you guys are going to do a Caribbean, 1 Caribbean, 2 Caribbean music, whatever it is, you cannot release that with cartel. You need to...
You want to hear something crazy? We did a concert 2 years ago, and it was the same name, One Caribbean Culture Fest. The exact same name that they have.
So did you see the cast they released today?
No, I did not.
They started releasing artists now.
Yeah.
I don't know who behind the show, right?
Yeah.
Because up to now, it's like probably 1 million people. I think I saw Sincere on if you see artists on the show, I can imagine the bill for this show, right? But I think I saw Cass on the show, I saw Sincere. There's a whole bunch of people on that show. And they say this is the first batch of artists.
Now, let me ask. Do you think Trinidad should have fought harder to keep Soca Monarch alive?
Absolutely.
I fully agree with that.
Absolutely.
I fully agree with that.
Absolutely. No, how it get where it get, we could probably talk about that forever and ever, right? But that's one thing that I respect Grenada about, like the authenticness, like that's the thing, right? And I love that about Grenada. Like even when I was setting up for Shush, because Shush was Saturday, right? Like when all the production people was like, listen, miss, we gotta start this Wednesday night, right? Because come Friday, 3:00, we in working. So forget about it. Like I couldn't get anybody to do anything for the party from 3:00 on Friday, and then you gotta hope and pray
they make
it on time Saturday morning because they don't play with their Soca Monarch. Like they walk from country to get where they get it for Soca Monarch, right? I don't know if St. Lucia has one, right? But St. Lucia still has an authenticness about their carnival. And I wish that we could have still maintained that.
Right.
It's so messed up. Like, I just feel like there's certain days, like our Carnival Fridays or Carnival Saturdays. Because, like in Grenada, where they had the whole thing when Voice was doing his show, and then they said only 2 artists, and people were kind of conflicted, right? But the thing about it is, like, Voice is a #1 artist. He is not a me. He's not a you. He's not a you, right? So even if you're doing a show with somebody, you really have to think about what it is you're doing. You're coming into an island that still has its authenticness. Carnival Saturday.
Yeah.
If I was him, I would have produced that show the Saturday before Carnival.
Right.
So I don't offend anybody. I am showing the government that, hey, I'm doing this show earlier to get people to come into the island earlier. So it stretches the carnival, because you know your carnival is all about a stretch, right? So what I would have done if I was a voice per se, and if I was an artist of that standard and I wanted to do a show of mine in another island, I would have not tried to go on the weekend of the, you know, because even when we were doing the Fed, they was like, listen, you know, Panorama Saturday night and da-da-da-da. We had to, I was like, whatever you say, sir, whatever. Yeah. What time you want me to wrap it up? Like, that's the rules, because you're going into somebody's space. I would have said, listen, we all for the culture, right? I want to incorporate the local artists here as well into my show, right? Furthermore, if I was him and they said only 2 foreign acts, I'd be like, that's fine with me. Yeah. Me, Nadia, Lero, come Boise, come this one, come Vaughn, come. You could have had a great show like that, right? But for me, if I were him, I would have said, because you got to show people what you're adding to the thing, right? I would have put that show the weekend before, because I was in Grenada the weekend before, and there was so many people down there. There was nowhere to go. Yeah, I think YBT had an event, but outside of that, there was nowhere to go. And people
the weekend
would go.
Before, I think they do beach jam.
Yeah, so that way, you know, I'm talking about like the Saturday, the Sunday before, when people start coming in. Remember, people want to come in earlier because the tickets are cheaper and stuff like that. But there's not a lot of events, as many events. That's what I would have done. But you guys got a lot of backlash too, because some people was for and against it. Right. They didn't like the fact that they're saying, oh, no more than 2 artists after. And some people was for it, right? How did you feel about that? Because...
So I had mixed feelings about it. And I understand that what they were trying to do is to create a space for the local acts to get the bookings. But you also have to understand that we're in a global market.
That part,
and that could lead to unintended consequences for when our artists...
So that's the only thing I would say. Yeah. So I can respect the fact that there's a level of the authentic part of the carnival you want to keep, right? Yes. Because
I get that part.
I do know that Grenada has so much talented music and musicians that you don't get to see. They don't get the platform, right? So I get it on that sense. But then here's the thing. How do you expect them to get welcome and be welcomed up here? Because even when I started adding Grenadian acts or whatever, it was me taking a chance on my audience, because I didn't know how... You know, because sometimes as islands, we so closed off. As a St. Lucian, we want to hear this music. As a Grenadian, we want to hear this. As a Jamaican, you want to hear this or whatever. So I'll be honest, like, I was like, okay, let me ease them in, because I live in the house with a Grenadian. Yeah. And every time I'm planning an event, he's looking at me like...
giving you the eye.
You know, right? And let me tell you about Davis. In the beginning, he wasn't even calling the big power names. Yeah. He was calling somebody from in St. Davis. He know, like, we could bring this friend. He's my friend. He sing a song. And I looking at him like, who you he ain't even calling, like, big names to me to ease me. And he be like, you know, I know this fella from since, you know, he from Pomerode, and, you know, he have a song. Be like, Davis, please, like, I have to ease into this, right? So then it's like, you know, the thing about it is like, I was scared. Yeah. Because of the blindness that you block out in your mind with this, your island, my island, right? And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a chance, because I was able to go Grenada. 2019, never forget. One of the best years of Grenadian music. Go there.
That was a big year.
Not know one song. What? Not one. Not still only know Get in Your Section with
Natalie and them.
Not know one song. Go there. See this thing soak. I sat in Soca Man to see it like this. Yeah. Because I was trying to understand. I didn't see that from since the days of Super Blue and stuff like that, right? And leave Grenada Carnival and have a total appreciation, and it's like, yo, who is this man? Yeah. The first time I see Boise, I in the party St. Davis, who is this man? Yeah. Where this man? Where's this man? I never seen this man before.
Was this year your first year going to Soca?
No, it was 2019, right? And I was like, I literally, like I said, I know Talpri. At that time, I knew Natalie and them a little bit, you know, because again, Natalie and they was singing with Marshall here, whatever. This is what I know. But I didn't know. But I go, you know, my favorite artist is Slaughter. Favorite, hands down.
Yeah.
Ringtone is my ringtone, right?
Nice.
But I'm literally like, Davis, who's this man?
Yeah.
Who is this Boise man? Where he is be? There's only a king?
Yeah.
How he's the king? I never see him. Real naive. Who is Slaughter? Who is Lil Cat?
Yeah.
Who is this short man? This is me, right? But Davis, I see that man by the house already.
Yeah.
Me on top of the station.
Yeah.
Who is this, right? And had a full appreciation for the music. And I was just kind of like, yo, I gonna try this.
Yeah.
I really like this. And I feel my people, my crowd gonna like this. And it was welcome. When I did Boise last year and did Boise this year, I could tell you it was appreciated 10 times more, not just by the Grenadians, by the other people. But if people are not given a platform, if Grenadians only come and perform for Grenadians, if St. Lucians only come to New York and perform for St. Lucian, we would never know them.
Yep.
We would never know them.
And this is something that we do here a lot. We make a concerted effort to play music from every single island, because there is so much good music out there that people are not taking the time to find out about unless you put it in front of them.
Right, because the DJs have to play it, right? The DJs have to play it. And it just is what it is, but not just Grenada. There's other islands that produce great music. And it's because they don't have the platform. It's not heard. We don't know it.
So coming back to how we got to this conversation.
You come back with the Soca Man thing again?
GMGT. And
You come back with the Soca Man
and
thing?
Natalie presents
I don't think you could have skipped
New
this one.
York City Soca Monarch.
Who's in the Soca Man, Kareem?
So we're gonna have Anika Berry, Taller Than, Young Image, Alma Boy, Rain.
My question, do you think they will be open to that?
Yes.
100%.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think so.
Uh-huh. I am 100%, and we can go small to start.
These are names that you call, and these are names of people that I know that they are working.
Yes.
When I say working, they're doing the work,
They're
right?
doing the work.
And that's the thing about an artist. There's a couple artists, they may not be all the way there yet,
Yeah.
but they are working. Anika working. She ain't working. Anika working.
Mm-hmm. And,
you know?
And I think they are missing that stage, that opportunity, because, for example, Ding Dong. Ding Dong went to a different level when he went into Soca Monarch. You think Ding Dong
hard,
would...
You know, Ding Dong is my friend, so it's very hard for me. I have to
Yeah.
take Ding Dong and then take him out of that box and put him in his box, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but remember, Ding Dong was already in the industry.
He was a
so
DJ.
He already had that platform.
Right.
So that gives him an extra step. I always find like the artists that are produced up here, like Lero.
Yeah.
We all know Lero was amazing, but it took a while for the local Trinidadians to accept him.
Do you
right?
think if he had a Soca Monarch stage in New York City,
I
that would
don't
have...
know. That's a trick question, because as much as New York, in my mind, is the biggest thing, right?
Yeah, we are.
Right?
We are.
I
We don't have to think. We know.
Modestly,
We know.
right?
We know.
I do feel like in the islands, I'm saying like Trinidad, I feel like it's the New Yorkers, oh God. I feel like we
There
get
is
that
that.
kind of rap, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why. I don't know if they feel the whole of New York downtown, because, you know, that's a Trini word, right? But I feel like we get this kind of rap.
Even I've heard the same thing from the Grenadian artist that lives in New York, that how difficult it is for them when they go back home.
Yeah, it's difficult. I know it took a while for them to really say, like, who is this guy, right? And so I know, like, Anika and they live up here, right? So while they're working, like, they have to work extra hard, because they got to put themselves in the right places and put themselves in front of the right people, because remember, but I always tell people, when New Yorkers love you,
Yeah. It's a different kind of
you
love.
can't, Lero could sing shit and it wouldn't matter,
Yeah,
right?
New York will come out.
We'll be like home, like, yo, Lero singing real shit, but when he party, right?
Yeah.
They're like, Lero! They'll be like, Lero, you know? But home, we like, what shit he singing, boy, you know? It doesn't matter, because he was able to put in that work. It's like, yo, that's the King of Brooklyn. I think we gave him that title, like, that's the King of Brooklyn, you know? But it took a lot for him a lot of work, and, you know, it's because he believed in himself and people believe in him, and he got the support. Not all the artists get the support that not everybody gets that support that Lero may have had, for example. You know what I mean?
I totally get that, but I think there is room right now. I think Trinidad has opened the door for us like that way.
Kareem, you think if there's a New York Soca Monarch, you think that New York Soca Monarch winner will not get fight down?
They will get fight down home, but I think once New York is behind you, the fight down is a little bit harder.
Is this a New York Soca Monarch with just Trini artists, or anybody can enter?
No. Anybody can enter.
Caribbean Soca Monarch.
Caribbean Soca
So
Monarch.
anybody can enter.
Anybody can
They
enter.
don't have to be living in New York. They can come from elsewhere.
No. If they're coming from elsewhere, they have to be invited. So we giving
How
them.
you inviting them?
So
that's not fair.
No.
like
Listen. This is our thing, Natalie.
Exactly.
This is our thing. This is.
See, we done said I argue already, right?
Let's talk it out, right? So we have the New York artists. They are automatic entry. We invite all the Soca Monarch winners from all the other islands to come in. So they're getting an invite. Any other artist, the winners, right? And we could say we could have the road match and Soca Monarch winners from the other islands. They get the invite. And that's not the final. That's just the entry. Because remember, we have to whittle it down. So now you have 3 rounds. We have the quarterfinal, the semifinal, and the final.
This song like plenty work.
It is plenty work, but I believe it's needed because I think that Soca Monarch stage, and while the world has changed, right, that you don't necessarily need Soca Monarch since there is social media. People can just put something up on TikTok and be in front of 1 million people. It's still a little bit different when you're on that stage and there's 10,000 people watching you. And
so do you feel like, once, because Trinidad doesn't have this Soca Monarch, right?
Yeah.
Because we used to allow other people.
Yeah.
I guess it's international.
International.
Because I feel like because they took away that platform, right?
Yes.
It took away something
It took
from
away,
people
yeah.
because
For sure.
it wasn't even necessarily about winning. It was like about just taking part or being a part, and them having a platform to showcase something, right?
Yeah.
So yes, I had heard they were bringing it back, but of course, I mean, it's no way because we would have heard something.
We would
by
have
now,
heard something on.
But I definitely think they need to bring it back. I definitely think they need to bring it back. I don't know if it will ever get back to what it used to be.
It's not. It's definitely not going to be that. I don't think it'll ever
You know
get
how
back.
amazing Soca Monarch used to be back in those days?
Yo, you know those old
I'm too
videos
young to
I watching with
Yeah.
Super Blue up on those things? How my pores does raise when I watch that?
Yeah, I used to look forward
Ronnie
to
McIntosh and all of these guys have the crowd going.
Yeah, I don't think it would ever. I mean,
It's not gonna
we're
get
in a
back.
different
Yeah.
time, of
Yeah.
course, but I mean, I know like the Vinci has the St. Lucia.
St. Lucia does have a
St.
Soca
Lucia
Monarch.
has a Soca Monarch.
They do.
I know Vinci has
Vinci
one.
Soca Monarch is pretty close to what Grenada is.
Grenada is, yeah.
So I think Trinidad closed that avenue closed and opens up something for us here in New York, as I feel like New York City is the mecca for Caribbean entertainment. We are the mecca
I agree.
in terms of the amount
So
of
you
events.
saw the Caribbean Music Awards that they had in King's Theatre.
I want some of it.
What was?
So now this is my field. This is where I look at things now and I'm critical. There's a lot of things I think that can change
A lot of
in
things.
that show, but I think that show is a needed show.
I definitely think it is a needed show. And, I was actually there this year just helping through a friend. And so last year I watched it. On the Caribbean Music Awards, and production is my thing as well.
Yeah.
So I'm watching and I'm screaming, "What he had? What the?
Yeah.
What did trophy get? What did whatever?" But as much as I'm criticizing it, right?
Yeah.
There's a sense of pride that I feel,
Yeah,
right?
me too.
And I'm like, I'm a lot more open because before I used to be so soca, trini. Now I'm like Dexter, that's swearing. I'm like, oh God, like I'm screaming like, But so there was a sense of pride, but I just feel like if we're gonna do it, we have to do it right? And what I will say is, and I don't even care if they hear me, right? What is upsetting is that people do not use the resources that they have, right? And like the Caribbean Music Awards show, some of the people that are involved in that show, they know too many people like me and other people that they could. This is not a money thing. This is for the culture to get the thing to a better level that they could reach out to help
with the production,
organize things a lot tighter, because seeing it on TV and seeing it in real.
So I saw it on TV. What was your experience in real? Was it better?
In real, I was like literally up front helping them with the seating. Like I went to help my friend who was helping them with the seating charts and stuff like that. And needless to say, like when Marshall came, he didn't like that seat. It was like, hell no. I'm like, oh God. It was like, Laming, why you put me in that seat? I didn't put you in this seat. Like, But again, there's a sense of pride with it that comes with it. And the best part about the Caribbean Music Awards for me, being in there in person and being like up front, because I literally was up front, was actually seeing all of the artists in one room.
Okay.
Like, that was the best part of it. The production part of it
needs work.
They need to cut it out. They need to cut it out.
So the visual for me, I think there's a lot of things I can bring to that show that they need.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people, if they do their homework, there's a lot of people that, these things, it takes work. This is not a thing you can plan in 2 months.
Right.
This is even with the production of the show, like the categories and the year, like how you have a song winning an award for this year that came out in 1999, but you're saying song of the year, things like that. Like, so it starts with stuff like that. It's not just about the actual day production. It's about the thought process behind the show and what it means and what each category means. And like when you have honorees and what you do, like things like that. Like they have it, but they have a long way to go. And I hope that they continue it. I just hope that they start utilizing
the talent in the community.
Talents in the community. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of Caribbean people in positions, in media, in production, going to college for this, who would intern and do things to help make. Stop pulling your friend and your friend and your friend and my man and my man and my man.
Stop that shit now.
But I think the show has great potential.
I love the idea of the show. I think the show has amazing potential too.
Yeah.
Just like Soca Monarch.
You come back with a Soca Monarch. I will have to think about this. I don't do well with competition and my name around. It be like, she cheat her friend. She like Anika.
We ain't care. We ain't care. Even if we cheat, the culture needs it.
I never hear that.
You didn't hear that, right?
Even if we cheat, the culture needs it.
The culture needs it.
The culture needs it.
Okay, let me sleep on that one.
Yeah. And I'm going to talk to you offline about something
else.
No. Within that same vein, why I'm bringing that to you.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk to you offline about that. Something.
But I do wish they did more things culturally, because New York, Brooklyn is the mecca, right, of the Caribbean culture in the U.S. And I wish that we did do more things like with the kids, just like how they have these steel pan and stuff, and do like. They have Young Kings. I don't know if they do it, so I might be speaking out to turn. I'm not sure. But like, Young Kings competition and stuff like that. I wish that they would do more things like that.
I wish they would.
Yeah.
So I have a thing that I started saying this year. I am transgenre. I did not grow up being a soca person.
Okay.
But I'm fully invested in it now.
You're more invested in soca now.
I am fully invested in soca.
But that's good to hear.
When growing up, I used to listen to a lot of Trinidad radio station, and guess what played there most? Dancehall and hip hop. The most dancehall and hip hop I heard in my life growing up was
on Trinidad radio.
Trinidad radio.
Okay.
98.9 FM and 96.1 back in the day. We FM. So I'm talking about late 90s.
Okay.
Right? Mid to late 90s. Grew up on Trinidad radio, and that's where my love for radio came from. But I was always dancehall, hip hop, right? I am fully transgenre now.
Okay.
Fully I am invested in soca.
So me, I'm everything Caribbean. Yeah. Like I would admit that I was everything very Trini.
Yeah.
Like you can tell me nothing Trini, but I am like I believe in one Caribbean, one house. That's my motto. That's my grandfather's motto. One Caribbean, one house, one house. Each room is a different island. If one room break down, everything will break down. That's like my motto. You know, a lot of people ask me like, oh, like you know, like you over push Grenadian culture. I get that all the time. But the thing about it is like, I mean, besides the fact that I have a genuine love for Grenadian culture, like my other half is Grenadian, right? And I was telling somebody this the other day, like my other half is like full Grenadian, right? So I married into a Grenadian family, and so I consider myself like half Grenadian. But my other half works the business. Like he don't just show up, pop his collar, like I'm married to her.
Hands dirty.
My, you know, the Grenadian that I'm married to gets his hands dirty. He's the first to reach, he's the last to leave. So in all fairness, if we are working together as a unit, it's not fair that I just promote my culture. Because when he supports me, he is promoting my culture. So it's only fair because he loves his culture. So it's only fair that if he supports me 100% that promotes my culture, it's only fair that I support him and promote his culture because that's who he is. That's his family. He's not like somebody who just come up when he was small and he have no ties in Grenada. I mean, his daughter lives in Grenada, you know what I mean? So for me, that's why you know, when people say, oh, you Grenadian now. No, don't get it twisted. I'm Trini to the bone. Like, Larry, don't get twisted. But this Grenadian thing is part of me. And because, like I said, he pushes me, and pushes me means pushes my culture. I can't be in that type of partnership. I was like, well, yeah, we have a Trinidadian restaurant and that's it. I don't. No, you know, when you come to the pizza shop, we put breadfruit on pizza. We put breadfruit on pizza. We have an oil down pizza. We have a spice man pizza. Right?
That's all I need to hear.
We have a spice man pizza, you know. The only thing
like
is, you know,
punch a cream and pizza tonight, yes, but
when we were doing the artwork on the wall, somehow I don't know how I was not there when the man was doing it during the Grenadian flag, reach on top above the Trinity flag. I'm like, you know what? I'll give you that one, right? But you know, that's why, you know, just to answer everybody's thing, is like I'm not trying to be a part of something that, you know, like we push the culture together, and because he supports my culture, I support his culture. When I have to go Trinidad and do Trini things, he's in the Trini thing. When I gotta go, he go Grenada, I gotta do the Grenadian thing. So it just becomes a kind of bond. And I, you know, one of the things I know about, like one thing he always talk about is like, you know, as Greens, y'all don't have, you know, yes, they have the lobby markets and they have one or two little things. I think they have other little restaurants here and there, but y'all don't really have a lot of platform things to hold on to where you could come and say,
this is
yo, you know, one of the
Mm-hmm.
owners here is Grenadian. So people come to the restaurant all the time and they'll be like, hi, you're the owner. I'll be like, hi. They'll be like, where the spice man? And I'll be like, hi, I'm here. They'll be like, no. We from Pomeroz and we looking for the spice man. And I'll be like,
they're looking for the spice pot of Savannah.
And that's the thing. There's a
pride.
sense of pride. There's a sense of pride.
I know that too well, because when I first came here, right, it was so important for me to hear music that was coming from the people.
When you come from an island and you go listen, my first Caribbean restaurant, when I came to New York and I walked in, and y'all gonna laugh at me because the name of the restaurant was called Miss V's restaurant on Nostrand Avenue, and I went in and I saw callaloo. I was so excited. I was like, can I get a callaloo and a chicken and a rice? And I order up a storm. Yes, can I get provisions?
Yeah.
If you know Miss V's Jamaican, right?
No, I didn't know that.
So Miss V's, anybody who knows Miss V's restaurant, that is full-blown Jamaican. She's been around for years. The bottom line, and I was so happy to see the word callaloo written, not realizing, shoot, there's different types of callaloo. Now I get this chop-up thing looking like collard greens. I was disturbed. So the bottom line is, we all have our own sense of pride. So I am like really happy for him. And I see that sense of pride when they come and they go, I from Palm Road, I'm looking for the spice man. I feel like chopped liver sometimes, but you know.
I have a viewer commented. He says, "My house mess up. I am Bayesian to the bone. Wife born Grenada but grew up in New York. Kids born New York but grew up in Barbados." Wow.
So you know what? My grandfather's Bayesian.
Yeah.
So I don't like to leave them out, right?
Yeah.
My grandfather's Bayesian, but you know, my son is born in America,
Yeah.
and he constantly reminds us, like when we're in a pizza shop, he goes, "Mom, don't forget pepperoni, please.
Yeah.
You want to put oxtail on everything." I said it's okay, oxtail on this one, but you want to put oxtail on everything. Make sure you have pepperoni and make sure you have a Sprite and a Coke. Cause I'm like, well, let's do more B. He'd be like, okay, Mom, but the Americans are coming too, right? So it's like, we always have to like, you know, I get it. Cause you know, you're trying to teach them the culture, but you still want them to know like who they are, whatever. He in that person Bayesian and Grenadian in the house.
Yeah.
Whee.
Yeah. Bayesian,
Flying
Grenadian.
fish and breadfruit.
Heavy flying fish and
Flying
breadfruit.
fish and breadfruit. I never had that before.
I never had it either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that sounds like good. Some fry breadfruit.
But
with
now
some
I'm
flying
like
fish.
so open to so many different cultures. So I have so many Guyanese friends now. So all I eat is
Pepper
cook
pot?
up rice and
Pepper pot?
I still have pepper pot in my fridge.
I have pepper pot
right,
too.
but I
I've
eat
never had
pumpkin
pepper
and
pot.
rice. It's pepper pot is heaven. You need to get yourself a Guyanese friend, girl.
Yeah. Pepper pot is life.
I'm like so more open to different cultures. Like
Just thought about that.
what?
Pepper pot roti.
It would taste good.
Take and what are we gonna
You
do?
know, pepper pot is an expensive meal. So
Yeah,
pepper pot roti would be I just letting you know, because you know your friend who had the 2 drinks and the 2
Yeah.
tacos will pay $100. That pepper pot roti might cost $100. So before you start putting it together, I'm just saying. But I'm so more open to like different islands and stuff and what they have to offer. I mean, I've been to Barbados. My grandfather's Bayesian, but there are other islands that I want to go to Vinci.
I want to go to Vinci.
I gotta
too.
call Hoover and tell Hoover he needs to take me to the island.
I've never been to Vinci.
I heard that.
Yeah.
That's something I want to talk about. The carnivals,
Yeah.
like the carnivals in the other islands.
Right now, St. Kitts Carnival is going on.
So St. Kitts, Dominica,
Yeah, that's Bouillon.
Antigua.
So Dominica, I think Dominica is the same time with Trinidad.
Yeah, but Kareem, these carnivals are becoming fire. St. Croix.
Yeah.
Like, don't you be on social media and you see people posting and you're like, yo,
what is this?
What is going on there?
Yep.
Yeah, like it's not just.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we're the Mecca, right? We say we're the Mecca. I hate that with Mecca, right? I'm just gonna say we're the biggest.
Yeah.
But right now, from July come down, New York is empty. People I call it carnivaling.
Yep.
They non-stop. I'm in St. Lucia, like, you here?
Yeah.
You here? You here? You in Grenada? You here? It's just that the prices are.
Yeah, the price is
The
pricey.
cost.
Yeah.
But again, we spend money for what we want to spend money
we value.
on.
Yeah,
So
we spend money for what we value.
Yeah.
So we've been here for 2 hours talking. I said
you're
2
lying.
years. Yeah, we've been talking for 2 hours
I'm
already.
probably gonna get fired. I ran away from a job. I was like, I'm coming back.
So, what before you leave? Like, what do you want to leave us with? Like, anything that you're working on that you want to just drop a hint about something's coming up?
We're just getting ready for a new year. We're closing off with Chic. We're getting ready for a full shush year, Trinidad, St. Lucia, Grenada, and whatever else new. I know we're doing art form again with Nadia. You know, I just want to say to everybody, like, I don't know about everybody else, but from the consensus that I've been getting, 2024 was a little rough, right?
24 was rough.
You know, we can't really like give up. We kind of just gotta pack it up, put it in a box, put a little ribbon on it, chuck it be under the bed, far under the bed, and you know, let's start over with 2025. And you know, at the end of the day, like, I just wanna kind of like, I know it's not New Year's yet, but I wanna wish like everybody like greatness for the New Year's, like whatever it is, whether it's family, work, relationship, like whatever, you know. Time's different. Look at, it's so much drones in this, like I was saying to somebody, drones in the sky, people burning on the train, fire. It's just we living in a wild time, and I just feel like we need to be careful, we need to be more mindful, we need to be a little bit more aware. I don't know if something coming. Any of y'all, do you feel like something coming? I feel like something coming. I don't know.
The only thing I hope coming is the lotto. That's what I'm looking forward
The
to.
lotto?
Right?
I don't know. You have to
You
sit
know,
down and wait for that.
somebody won the $1 billion last night.
I wonder if it's Davis. You know, he went and play. You know, I gotta check and see if he win any lotto. But I just wanna, you know, hope everybody, you know, just go into the new year with positive thoughts and you know, let's just use it as a reset. And you know,
I'm looking forward to 2025.
so am I. I'm claiming it like.
Yeah.
That's my year.
Yes.
Claim it. We gotta claim it. We gotta claim it. Like,
good
listen,
energy.
good
Good energy.
good, you know, regardless of what coming, we gotta claim it. And you know, while we claim it, we gotta claim it for the people too. Good vibes, good energy, because what goes on comes back. You know, so
I'm feeling this positive vibe right now.
you feeling it?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to
That's
2025.
it, you know? I hope to see you at Chic. I hope to see you in Grenada next year, please God.
Grenada is a 100%. I'm going Grenada.
You're going Grenada.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear anything.
No, I'm definitely in Grenada. You're gonna hire my brother and myself to do Chic.
Oh yeah, I know
Yeah, my brother, the MC, short leg. That's so
I always go up to him and be like, I know your brothers, and he probably thinks I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Short leg is your blood brother?
Yes, they are.
Never knew that.
Yeah, they are. They are. And I always be like, I know your brothers. But anyways, he probably thinks I'm crazy.
So we work in Shush Grenada for 20.
Manifest. Put it in the air.
Yep. I'm there.
Okay. Put it in the air. So listen, I want to tell you guys happy holidays. I brought Kareem a punch of crumb. He didn't bring my gift for me yet. It's in the mail.
I'm bringing it to
He's
Chic.
gonna bring it to Chic.
Yes.
So he say,
I'm gonna bring it to Chic.
when I come back here, I'll let you all know if you tell me anything, okay? I brought him punch of crumb, Trinidadian punch of crumb. No coquito and all them kind of things.
Yes, boy.
Right.
As soon as I go upstairs, this is getting hit. You know.
Plenty ice, right? But anyway, I want to wish you guys all the best for 2025.
Thank you,
Whoever's
thank you.
coming to Chic,
Thank you.
get ready, be ready, stay ready.
We're gonna be there. 2025 is our year, Nat.
2025, whoever
Yes.
listening,
And-
manifest it. It's our year.
And 2020.
Despite the aliens,
Yep. Despite. and
y'all don't believe me.
2026.
It's what?
Caribbean Soccer Monarch.
Okay, I have to go.
New York edition.
I gotta go.
We're doing it right here in New York City. Brought to you by
I have no idea what
Natalie
he's talking.
and
Kareem, you started back
GMGT.
now. You know, by the time I leave here and I get home, they're gonna come and say, I hear have a soca man. I'm coming in. Okay.
Yep.
Alright.
I'm putting you on the spot. So friends of Natalie, message her, write
Oh
her,
my God.
put the fire. Put the fire because we're
And
doing
Nika
it.
call me and say, hey, I hear have a soca man. I'll be like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. But thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. I have to go back and do the people
Listen,
walk.
I always say, like, Natalie, we come in, we're gonna
I
do an
know.
hour, and that's gonna be
It's
it.
supposed to be an hour.
Every time, every single time we end up at this spot.
Thank
But-
God we don't have big dogs could just kick us off the air, right?
Yeah.
You know, we didn't talk Diddy, but that's, you know, we're not gonna do that.
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I thought it was ending the end.
I know.
Let's let
You know,
Diddy
but
do it.
all right, guys, thank you very much.
I appreciate you for taking the time out every single time.
Anytime.
And I look forward to working with you on the New York Soca Monarch in 2026. And with that said, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Happy
Flawless
New Year.
Kareem. Y'all know what it is. Bye.
Bye, guys.